Jerusalem is going up.
You have a cursed state, devil. Because you're not a real Jew, man. We the real Jews. Right? Read on.
And their nobles have sent their little ones to the waters.
That's it on that. Give me Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9. Alright? So we know he's not a real Jew. It's evident. He gonna get his. But see, Ishmael, they take pride in taking our women, man.
Take a whole lot of pride slapping their women.
Right? They take pride in taking our women, man. Right? But our women are blamed for it as well. Getting with these heathen men. Same thing with Jake. Jake like getting with these heathen women. That's an abomination. Bring that out, gang.
Revelation chapter 3 verse 9. Behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not.
And are what?
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
And are not. They say they are Jews, but they are not. Read on.
But do lie.
But what?
But do lie.
Right, so you white people are a bunch of liars, man. You speak with a fourth tongue, man. Read on.
I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
And, hey, the Most High is going to make them come and worship before our feet in the kingdom, man.
That's right.
And to know that he have loved us. Read on.
And to know that I love thee.
There you go. Give me Isaiah 60 and 12. Bring that out, King.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 35. And it reads, For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time.
Hey, in Jerusalem, Israel is being inhabited of devils, man. You got heathens over there in our Holy Land.
That's right. And Palestinians. Palestinians are Edomites.
That's right. So Jerusalem is being inhabited of devils for a long time. Read that again.
This is the book of Baruch.
Catch this scripture. Bring it up.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 35. And it reads, For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure.
Long to endure. Read on.
And she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time.
And as she is Israel, she's been inhabited of devils for a great time. They've been in our land since 1942, man. Right? Under the British mandate. They was placed in that land. Bring that out, gang. Ezekiel 36 and 5.
Ezekiel 36 and 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy I have spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession.
They did what?
Which have appointed my land into their possession.
So they appointed the land of Israel into their possession. Because ultimately, that's the Most High's land. Right? So they stole from the Most High. Check that out. Read on.
With the joy of all their heart.
With the what?
With the joy of all their heart.
With the joy of all their heart. Because they over there having gay parades. They got a city called Pink City. Read on.
With the spiteful minds.
With what?
With the spiteful minds.
And they are the spiteful nation, man. With the yarmulkes on their head. They long zeeks. Dancing around. Right? That's wicked. Hey, really, that's the Most High mocking them. Showing you this is not my chosen people.
What's your nationality?
Look at these cornballs, man. The Most High know they cornballs, man. Yeah, they be having the two braids on the side.
Celebrating a 13-year-old boy's man.
Yeah, bar mitzvah. What scripture say bar mitzvah, man? Show me that in the Bible.
And they wear all black too, because Jeremiah 14:2.
Yeah. And they wear all black. Hey, black means dark and evil, void of light. So that's really the Most High mocking their nation, saying, look, this is not my chosen people. Look at their mannerisms. Look at their spirit. Bring it out, Ken.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations.
That's us, man. We have been led away captive into all nations. All nations had us in slavery. The Chinese man, the Arab man, the African man, the so-called white man has us in slavery right now. He had us in slavery during the Roman Empire. And America is an extension of Rome. Read on.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
And Jerusalem is being trodden down of the Gentiles. Our actual land and us as a people. Read on.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
And their time is being fulfilled as we speak, man. That's why they catching the COVID-19 virus, man. And this virus, this is something, but the Most High got more things in store, man. He got more things cooking up.
They can't handle this.
That's
All right.
in Canada.
Yeah, that's kind of right. You ain't know that?
I know that SARS coming from Canada.
Right? Bring out Ezekiel 7 and 25.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 7.
Ezekiel 7 and 25.
I'm just thinking of that too.
Right.
Also called white people going to slavery.
That's right.
Thus saith the Holy Bible.
That's right.
Because y'all on stolen property. Y'all stole this land for the Native Americans, man.
That's right.
Sorry.
So you're on stolen property.
If we made a
You're
deal with
accessory
them,
to murder.
Did we make a deal with them? We shook their hand and everything. They
Bring it
got
out.
Over 450 peace treaties.
But it's okay. The Most High got your number. God got your number.
She's smiling her proud at me.
It says 7
25.
and 9.
27 and 25.
Ezekiel 7 and 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall not seek peace. And
Now read it again.
destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace.
They're going to seek peace in that day. They're going to be looking for peace. They're going to be turning to their government for vaccines and RFID chips, so on and so forth. Destruction cometh, they shall seek peace. But what the Lord said?
And there shall be none.
There shall be what?
There shall be none.
There's going to be no peace on the earth, man.
Right.
The Lord said there's no peace unto the wicked.
Right.
Matter of fact, bring that out. Isaiah 48 and 22.
Hey, man, I got another Bible for you, man. That Bible is.
Read on.
Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. And then shall they seek a vision of the prophet.
That's when they're going to seek a vision of the
We
prophets.
gonna be out here.
Where them Israelites at? They were speaking the truth. Look, we ain't going to be out here no more, man. You think we're going to be out here when this damn military tanks up and down the damn river walk, man?
Hell no.
Right? Up and down Cass with military tanks. Y'all know martial law coming to the earth?
What's your nationality? Arabic?
Arabic woman. You know martial law is coming to America?
Like Edomites, don't they?
Hey, Esau even going to kill your dogs in that day, man.
Don't eat them.
He gonna kill your dog, eat it. See the white man, he twisted up there, man. This is the type of hell that's coming to America, man. Why? Because look what they did to our people, man. Look at them killing our people. And you got the nation standing afar off watching it happen, man. You never seen a Chinese man stand up for the cause of our people,
Hell no.
right? You had I was just looking at this documentary. What might have been a video. You had a Korean woman killed the 15-year-old girl, man. Back in the old days, man. I think it was back in the 90s.
Jake.
Yeah, 15-year-old girl. Shot her in the head. And guess what? She got probation.
Oh. Oh, for
That's
real?
what we're gonna do our people.
Boy, I'm telling you.
But it's okay.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, go home. You good. You got it. Just go home, I talk to your slave man. I talk to your brother. Just go home, man. But see, it's okay, man. It's all right. See, the Most High got something in store for you nations, the so-called white man. Because you're inferior to us, man. You East Indians,
Right, Edomites.
y'all Elam.
Not East Indians.
We can't stand you, man. Y'all worship rats. Y'all don't bathe. Elephants. They sitting up there worshiping the elephant. Worshiping cows. Yeah, walking on coals of fire. I believe they was doing that over there in Africa. The Hamite preacher talking about, I'm getting y'all ready for the lake of fire. So y'all gotta walk on coals of fire. Y'all gotta get ready for it.
Isaiah 15:9.
God, bring it out, brother. Isaiah 15 and 9. It's locked. Yeah. See, the nations are totally bugged out,
Since our
man.
spirit bear witness to the truth.
God. Isaiah 15 and 9. That might be a heathen baby, too.
That's y'all baby together? God. They got a baby together. Y'all
This is the
doing
book of
right now?
Isaiah, chapter 15 and verse 9.
A baby
For the
together.
waters of Timon shall be full of blood. For I will bring more upon Timon, lions, and upon him that escapeth of Moab,
And that's a beautiful precept right there.
Who is the mom?
and upon the remnant of the land.
Well, I don't know, brother. I gotta go back into that. I don't know the
okay.
man. Yeah. But I know them lions upon him that escaped of Moab, man. But I gotta go back into that. You know.
Okay, I be
Yeah.
right.
Got the reference. Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
The reference, let me know.
It says Numbers 21:16 through 18.
Numbers 21:16.
God.
That's talking about killing he was still a man. No, that's not. That's Exodus
21:16. Numbers 21:16-18. And from thence they went to Beer. That is the well whereof the Lord spake unto Moses. Gather the people together, and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song, Spring up, O well, sing ye unto it. The princes dig the well, the nobles of the people dig it. By the direction of the lawgiver with their slaves, and from the wilderness they went to Matana. Yeah, I don't know.
I gotta go back into that, brother. It may be a city, but I don't want to say the wrong thing, you know. So we had to just go back into that and get back to you.
Well, he said something about a well.
Yeah, town of Moab. Yeah, I got you.
Town of Moab. Check that out. A town of Moab.
He said something about a well.
Wait, I can tell by the context that it was a city.
Yeah, read that in the mic, Kane.
It's a city.
And this is talking about Iman.
How you doing, sister? You got a second for the Bible?
Sister, you got a minute for the Bible?
Sister, you got a minute for the Bible? You got 2 minutes for the Bible?
Yeah, read that.
It's in that same verse.
Malachi,
Amon.
she said sure.
A riverbed or silence, a town in Moab.
Town of Moab. So really, it's just talking about, yeah. From the understanding, it's talking about just Moab. Period. The Most High is gonna bring judgment on Moab. You know.
Sometimes he'll just use a city
You're right.
to represent that.
Exactly. Like sometimes he's talking to us, but he called us Jerusalem. You know.
That's a Chinese town then. Dang.
Right,
Could be
Moab.
Wuhan.
Could be Wuhan. Could be. That's the spirit. See, all praises to the Most High.
So she right here, man.
All praises. So, sister, you know you're an Israelite, God chosen people. Give me Deuteronomy 28:68. Let me ask you something. How did our people get to America? What form of transportation? We came over here on the ship. Everybody knows these things. We were sold over here on cargo slave ships. Let's see what the Bible say about that. Deuteronomy 28:68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
This is the Lord speaking to the Israelites, sister. He said, I'm going to bring the Israelites back into Egypt. But here's what Egypt means. Bring it out.
Exodus chapter 20 verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Egypt means the house of bondage or the house of slavery. Because what were the Israelites doing in Egypt? They were slaves, building up the pyramids with Pharaoh and the Egyptians. You ever heard that saying of working like a Hebrew slave? Exactly, because that's what the Hebrew Israelites was doing in Egypt. Bring that out, King.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again
Slavery again.
with ships.
What?
With ships.
Ships. This happened to us as a people. We went in slavery on ships. Read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more
We
again.
never seen our homeland as a nation. Read on.
And there ye should be sold into your enemies
Sold to our enemies, the so-called white man. Read on.
for bondmen and bondwomen.
Slave men and slave women. Read on.
And no man shall buy you.
Meaning no man shall redeem you out your captivity and slavery. That's why in 2020 we still in slavery. Just a different form of slavery. This is why we have to work for the so-called white man, pay bills, pay taxes, so on and so forth. So this is a curse that fell upon the Israelites for breaking the commandments of God. This is who the Lord is speaking to. Give me 29:1.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29, verse 1. It reads, these are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
With who?
With the children of Israel.
With the children of Israel. So that's who the Lord is speaking to. And we are the children of Israel because we fit this curse out the Bible.
That's right.
Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 46. Hold on 1 second, brother. Still dealing with the sister. 28 and 46.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 46. It reads, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever."
These curses are upon us for a sign and for a wonder. Right? When you see a stop sign, you know I gotta stop. So when we read these curses, we know that we the Israelites. It's upon us for a sign and for a wonder. Now give me verse 47.
Verse 47. It reads, "Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, and for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger,
And what?
and hunger."
When you hungry, sister, what food places do you go to? What grocery stores do you go to? Maya. Is that owned by so-called black people? It's not. So when we hungry as a nation, we got to go to our enemies to get our food sources. Read on.
And in thirst,
And in what?
and in thirst,
Same thing with water. Read on.
and in nakedness,
In the clothing on our back. When so-called black people want clothing, we got to go to different nations, right? These different name brands such as Nike, Gucci, H&M. These are all owned by so-called white people.
right?
Read on.
And in want of all things,
And in want of all things. Birth certificate, passport, social security, license, registration. Everything we got to go to our enemies. So we still slaves. It's nothing changed. Read on.
until he have destroyed Slakia. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
He shall do what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck,
We had yokes of iron upon our neck in slavery. Read on.
until he have destroyed thee.
Now we destroyed as a nation, mentally, physically, spiritually. Read on.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Now give me verse 54. Right? Verse 54. So what we doing right now is read to you the curses that fell upon us as a nation. You check out this sign right here. You will see Judah down to Naphtali. These are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Right.
These people on the sign, they are God-chosen people.
That's right.
And if you're so-called black, you will be from the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
If you're so-called Jamaican or West Indian, you're from the tribe of Benjamin. If you're so-called Haitian, you'll be from the tribe of Levi. Bring that out, Kane.
Verse 54. It reads, "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate."
We used to be loving to one another as a nation. When we all dwelt in Israel, we cared for one another. But what happened?
"His eye shall be evil towards his brother."
Now we have an evil eye toward one another. We always fighting. We always arguing. We always killing each other. Read on.
"And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave."
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And that's what black men known for doing, leaving their children. All right. So read verse 54 again, because I want to make a point on that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. And it reads, "So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother."
I shall be evil toward his brother. So they got different TV shows like Housewives, Bad Girls Club, so on and so forth, and they capitalize off our drama. They capitalize off our curses.
Love hip hop.
Love and hip hop. And these are the nations making money off our demise. That's a form of oppression. You understand? Now give me verse 43.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43. It reads, "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high."
The strangers are the other nations, such as the Chinese man, the white man, the African man. Because we're not Africans, sister. We Israelites.
Right.
There's a difference between Africans and so-called black people. Read on.
"And thou shalt come down very low."
We came down very low. We feel low as a nation. This is why these other nations, they come into your communities and set up businesses. They don't put the money back into the community. The community is still struggling. You still have homeless of our people, poverty stricken, on drugs, on liquor, on alcohol. Read on.
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
We became the tail. And all these things fell upon us for breaking the commandments of the Lord. Give me verse 15.
Verse 15. It reads, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and the statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
All these what?
that all these curses
All these bad things that we just read. Read on.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Verse 6.
Right. So all these bad things came upon our nation, sister. So this, we prove it to you how you were Israelite, God chosen people. Because you fit these curses, slavery on cargo slave ships. Right? Our nation having an evil eye toward one another. You going to your enemy for everything. This happened to us. So that's who you are, sister. You an Israelite.
Right.
And if your father's a so-called black man, you'll be an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, of the nation of Israel. Okay? And we got to come back to the Lord in these last days. All this stuff happening on the earth is a result of the Most High judging the world for his wickedness. And he's judging America for America putting us in slavery, for oppressing his chosen people. The Lord is fighting for us right now. Give me Exodus 14 and 14. Prove that.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 14 and verse 14. And it reads, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
So what?
And ye shall hold your peace.
So the Lord is fighting for the Israelites, and we ain't got to do nothing. We just got to hold our peace, man. Sit back and relax and come back to the Lord, keeping the commandments.
Right.
Stop being sinners. Stop being wicked. Give me Exodus 14:21.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 14 and verse 21. And it reads, and Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were
This is
divided.
Moses, Salaki. This is Moses when he parted the Red Sea for the Israelites. You had the Egyptians pursuing after us to kill us, but Moses parted the Red Sea. Read on.
And the waters were divided, and the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground. And the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them in the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians.
The Lord do what?
For the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians.
Most High drowned the Egyptians in the Red Sea for pursuing after his chosen people. Right? The Most High sent 10 plagues upon Egypt because they wouldn't let the Israelites go. Give me Exodus chapter 3 and verse 10. Yep.
Spirit, man.
It's the book of Exodus chapter 3 and verse 10. And it reads, Salaki. This is the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 10. And it reads, come now, therefore, and I will send thee into Pharaoh, and thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Right. And that's what the Most High did. He brought us out of Egypt. And this is spiritual Egypt right now. We read in Deuteronomy 28 and 6, 28 and 68, the Lord said, I'm going to bring you back into Egypt with ships. So this is the spiritual Egypt that the Most High is talking about. America. Now bring that out.
First Kings chapter 10 verse 9. Blessed be the Lord thy God, which delighteth in thee, to set thee on the throne of Israel, because the Lord loved Israel.
Because the Lord loves the Israelites. So, sister, let me ask you a question. How do you prove that you love God?
Woo, good one. You are God.
Well, hold up now, brother.
The black woman is God.
Hold up, brother.
Why would the black woman be giving her power to anybody else? When
Hold
everybody on this planet wants to be
Hold
the
up,
black
brother. We still teaching, brother.
woman? I'm saying, Let's have some
You
dialogue,
you gotta be patient though, brother.
Let's have some dialogue, baby.
We is, brother.
Alright,
But come on, asking the sister something. Be respectful. All right. So how do you prove that you love God, sister? By following His commandments. All praises to the Most High. John 14:15.
This is the book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. And it reads, if you love me, keep my commandments.
You love me, keep my commandments. So you know some commandments of the Lord? Give me 1 John 2 and 3, real quick. 1 John 2 and 3. Because we got to go into some commandments. You got to know the commandments first. You got to have the knowledge of the commandments to know if you're loving God the right way.
Right.
This book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse 3. And it reads, and hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments,
If we say we know God and we don't keep no commandments, we are what?
is a liar.
It's a what?
It's a liar. And the truth is not in him.
We don't want to be liars before the Heavenly Father. So we got to make sure we diligently keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Let's go into a law. Give me Leviticus 11 and 7.
Right.
Yep. Oh, bring it
The
out.
book of Leviticus.
Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine.
And the what?
And the swine.
You know what swine is? Pig, right? Swine is pig. Pork. Read on.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
He is what?
He is unclean to you.
So pig, pork is unclean. Pepperoni, sausage, all that's unclean. Read on.
Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
Right. So pig is unclean. Pork is unclean. So the Lord said don't eat pork chops in the Bible.
That's right.
Don't eat pepperoni.
That's right.
He was recording, I know.
Yeah, she was sleeping.
Right? So this is a law in the Bible, sister, that we have to keep. We can't eat pork. We got to abide by the dietary law. Right? What about shrimp, crab, and lobster? You eat that? All praises to the Most High. Because according to the Bible, you can't eat that either. It's a bottom feeder. Right? It's a crustacean. Bring that out, Cain. Verse 9.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and the rivers, them shall ye eat.
So everything that come out of the water that have fins and scales, the Lord said you can eat it. So you got certain clean fish that we can eat, such as cod, whiting, salmon, trout, big mouth bass, so on and so forth. All these things we can eat. But what can't we eat? Read on.
And all that have not fins and scales
All that have not fins and scales.
in the seas and the rivers, all that move in the waters, and if any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
So everything that come out of the water that don't have fins and scales, the Lord said it's an abomination.
That's right.
Such as crab, that doesn't have fins and scales, that has claws. Shrimp, lobster, it's in the same family as a spider.
Clams, mussels.
Yeah, right. Clams, mussels, oysters. These are things that the Lord said is abominable. Give me Deuteronomy 14 and 3. Deuteronomy 14 and 3. All right.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 3. And it reads, thou shalt not eat any abominable thing.
The Lord said,
Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing.
thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. So we can't eat crab. We can't eat shrimp. We can't eat lobster. We can't eat pork. That's an abomination in the sight of God.
That's right.
In accordance to Sirach 15 and 13, the Lord said he hate all abominations. So he hate to see our people eat abominable foods.
You a Mason?
Right?
You a Mason?
Nah, man.
You understand that, sister?
Collective being.
Give me Deuteronomy 22 and 5, so we're going to get another law for you.
You know what I'm saying? All energy. Original being on the planet and the cosmos.
Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
You be growing this coffee.
I don't know
I
why.
don't bind myself to no realms, no spaces, no time.
We're going to deal with you, brother, after we deal with the sister.
22.
Do your thing, brother.
All right.
What's your nationality, man?
My sister, you gotta listen to this commandment, all right? It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 5. It reads, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's
So
garment.
this is saying a woman shouldn't wear pants. Because that's the thing that pertains to a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, which is a dress. So we all had dresses out here. How would you feel about this? We all had on tutus and ballet shoes. How would you feel about this? You'll say, man, these brothers kind of funny, man. Right? So, yeah. But all jokes aside, the Lord said women can't wear pants out the Bible.
That's
Women
right.
have to wear dresses, which is modest apparel.
That's right.
Give me Leviticus 16 and 4. And the Lord said, all that do so are an abomination.
Yeah. For all that do so are an abomination to the Lord thy God.
And again, Sirach 15:13, the Lord hates all abomination.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 15, and verse 13. And it reads, the Lord hateth all abomination, and they that fear your God love it not.
That's right. So, sister, you should strive to wear dresses.
That's right.
You know, we know it might take some time because we've been brought up in a society to wear pants as a woman. Right? Let me ask you something. Did your grandmother wear pants? That's right. Because a lot of women, and traditionally, they known to wear dresses. Women wearing pants, that's really a new thing on the earth. That started in the 60s during the women liberation movement. Right? Bring it up. What I asked for? Leviticus 16 and 14. 16 and 4. Right? That started in the 60s during the women liberation, when the woman was trying to be equal to the man. But that's not in the scriptures. It's an order to things. Leviticus 16 and 4.
Con. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 16, and verse 4. And it reads, he shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches.
Say he shall have the linen breeches. So the men wore breeches, which are pants. Read on.
Upon his flesh.
On his what?
Upon his flesh.
He shall have on the linen breeches. Not she shall have on the linen breeches. Give me Leviticus 6 and 10. Yeah.